All right, everybody. So this is not going to be a normal New Father Chronicles episode, as you can tell from the title. I've been trying to record this a few times. I'm just trying to think of the right words to say. But basically, I really came close to losing my wife last week. It was scary, and it's not something you ever want to come close to. And so, as many of you all know, my wife has dealt with depression for years. After the birth of our 1-year-old, there were things happening behind the scenes. It could have been postpartum depression. It could have been just a variety of things based upon the ups and downs of chemicals in the body after you give birth. But I thought it was fine. We moved to Tampa about 4 months ago. And in that time, there was a lot of stuff going on. Red flags again. I mean, I could tell that there were changes and things happening to her mood, and just things were different. So when we came up here, we found a psychiatrist. It took a while. We realized the medications that she had been taking for a long time had been discontinued. It was no longer a popular enough drug on the market, so they pulled it. She had to kind of start from the beginning. We go to a psychiatrist, we find one up here, they start her on a medication, and it's not working. You know, it's week one, it's not really doing what it needs to. They don't really want to switch her on another one and have her bouncing from prescription to prescription, so they keep her on that and just adjust it a little bit. Another week passes, it's still not really working the right way. They adjusted some more. Another week passes, and it was kind of a dance like that. So 2 months go by, and things for her are just getting worse. She goes out of town for a little bit to kind of clear her head, comes back, seems to be in better spirits, but if I ask her how she's doing, she would just say okay. One day last week, we went on a date, and you know, when you spend some quality time together, you get a chance to see a little bit more. So we're talking, and the truth just kind of starts to spill out of how she really was doing. She was losing hope. Just a lot of negative thoughts pounding on her mind. You know, I was trying to be encouraging. We were trying to think about, you know, getting an appointment with a psychiatrist to finally change this medication. And it was hard to get in contact with the psychiatrist. There was, you know, phone calls and messages left, and we just couldn't get a call back. Next day, the next day comes, and all hope is gone. From her face, in her words, there was no hope left. She was already starting to plan the end. And she was very open about telling me that that's what she wanted. There's a lot of hesitation in the mind sometimes. There's a lot of confusion on, okay, what do I do? What is the right thing to do? How serious is this? What is you can sometimes feel like you're not equipped to deal with it, but you know you got to do something. And so, you know, as we're riding around and doing things, I'm kind of looking in my phone when we would stop, looking for what the closest hospital is, because that's what was in my mind. There was no encouragement. There were no words left to give. Like, she was in a state of crisis. I didn't have time to research and look at background and see what the best place was. All I knew was that my wife is planning her end and telling me about it. And if I don't do anything, I may not see her tomorrow. So I just had to take her into this place and just hope and pray for a good outcome. And so we went in, and everybody was really friendly, very nice, very supportive. There's a van you have to get into to be transferred to the inpatient facility. And man, that was hard. She was the only one there. They put her in the van, they closed the doors, and I said, hey, the least I could do is go in and give her a hug. Let me give her a hug, and you know, because I'm going to meet her over there, and just hugging her in there and walking away. I just slowly walked back to my car with tears in my eyes, because it's hard to see your loved one, anybody that you care for deeply, in a situation like that. And it's from last week through the weekend up until now is just going to visit her there every day. Hoping and praying that with the right psychiatrist there, with the right medication, with the right counselor, that she could at least get to a stable enough place to be able to continue to get the help that she needs. I started thinking back at all the red flags I missed, the things I wish I could have done better, getting her better help sooner, not letting 2 months go by with her not being on the right kind of medication. It's just, it's what happens. I think everybody alongside somebody going through this has things that they regret. An incredibly popular word from that, I hear from my wife is burden. The word burden is often used because she has felt many times that to ask for help or to even need help is a burden on me and everybody that loves her. And that's so far from the truth. It's really, really hard. It's really hard for the person dealing with depression to see outside of the negativity that floods in their mind. And I will tell you, I see all sides of it. Medication, prayer, therapy, there's holistic approaches to it. All exercise, all kind of stuff could be used to help. But the most important lesson for me is I just want to pay attention.